Hello, guys.
Whoa.
We were thinking we would do something a little bit different for you guys out there and do a Worthy Watchers review, but for episodic TV shows.
Yeah.
So we thought we'd give it a spin with the latest season for Castlevania, Season 2. Wow. Yeah, let's get into it. So first off, this is the first episode, and straight off the bat, it's like, here's the War Council, here's the people for Dracula that you are going to be getting to know. So let's start off with a few of those names. First off, the two new humans that are against humanity. What do you think about those guys?
I think they're very interesting. You know, it's always nice to have characters that are antagonists, but they're also very similar to the protagonists. You know, so you get like a little bit of both kinds of ideas. You know, so for them, it's like they hate what humanity has done to them, even as humans. And they want revenge for that.
Yeah, they have first-hand experience with how bad their own kind is. And it kind of, as Dracula explains, allows him to trust their own judgment because they know firsthand. They've lived it, and they're willing to go the extra mile with him, even though they know, you know, they're fucking over their own kind, which is to say something. So that's Oscar and that's Isaac. Or, I'm sorry, Hector.
Yeah.
Hector and Isaac. So far, out of the two of them, you're kind of leaning on Hector. You're kind of like, man, he's really interesting.
Yeah, they don't really build up Isaac much, but you get this little excerpt of Hector, like, looking into the fire, and he's, like, thinking back to a time in his childhood where he learned what humanity can be and how bad they can be. Yeah. So
well, and I like to think so for these reviews too. We're expecting that you've watched this with us, so we're gonna be like getting into the nitty gritty of why we love these episodes.
Yeah.
And I think for me too, like when you hear that his mom is like, "I hate that you came out of me," like that's pretty harsh. That is really harsh. So, and then, you know, of course, the dad's like, hey, we use our power for greed and wealth and all that. Nothing else. It's not about love or anything. Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah.
It's just like all of the worst sides of humanity's just like nailed it right there.
You know? and also talk about like great visual representation without actually having it be a flashback. It's him looking into a fire, and then right as they like are screaming, the log breaks.
Yeah. There's something to be said with the way that the animation is cinematic. I don't know where they went to and like who they've gone with to pair for the animation, because I want to get to when we get like finish out this episode, like start looking that stuff up, because damn, they nailed it. And you're right, that feeling carries. So another thing I'm going to go ahead and mention here for these episodes, I've watched already up to episode 7.
Yeah.
And I'm leaving the last one so we both can have like a freak out at the very, very end.
Yeah.
But I'll say this, things get really interesting with the two of them. And I cannot wait for you to watch the upcoming material.
I'm very excited for that.
So another character that was also newly introduced along with the court of vampires, most of them not speaking, is a Viking vampire, which I thought was really cool. Godfrey?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. What did you think of him?
I actually really like him.
You dig him?
At first I thought he was going to be that one character that's on the bad side that's like, oh, this is unfair, blah, I hate you, you know? But they actually set him up where he actually thinks about what he says, and then afterwards he like apologizes. He goes up to Hector and he's like, I understand what I did. I shouldn't have done. I should have held my tongue. But I also want you to understand my point of view. And I like that.
Yeah.
I like that it's like...
Well, and he like has a really awkward way of going about it too, because like, you know, he's the guy that's like, man, I'm here to like, you know, kick ass and take names. Blah, blah, blah. I don't care about the politics. And then he has a moment where he's like, okay, I realize I have to care about the politics.
Yeah.
But that's not me. Though, at the same time, though, they still do a great job of always reminding you of the people that you're, like, maybe not gonna love completely because he's
Yeah.
being mean to the dog.
True.
You don't be mean to the dog.
Yeah,
That's a
that's right.
cute ass dog, necromance
Yeah.
dog.
Yeah. Reanimated dog.
Yeah.
Big fan.
Yeah, I can't remember his name that Hector gave him, but it was cute. I
Yeah.
remember that.
Yeah.
So, other things going on with the episode. Obviously, the beginning with the little bit of backstory that we knew where it was going,
Yeah.
obviously, from season 1. But it was kind of cool to see how it happened, where, like, literally the church comes in and is like, you're a witch. We don't care. You're a witch. We will find it. You know what you're looking for. It's just like, well, fuck these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're, like, even more, like, down with the church.
Yeah.
The church. But there's also the seeing the aftermath of what happens in season 1 with the town, and you get to see where it leaves off with Alucard and the other two. I can't think of their names right now. I can't think of their names right now.
Trevor Belmont.
Yes, Trevor Belmont, and then
we'll double check it, but I want to say it's like Murray or something like that. But I could be wrong. I don't know why I'm spacing on it either. We'll have to check that later. In the second episode review, we'll have it down. I promise you. But the emissary of the speakers, right? She's like the badass magician out there. All the three of them, obviously, you see that they're becoming kind of like a trio, a band that are going to go against the world. And no matter their differences, no matter where they've come from, they're in it.
Yeah, I really loved the scene with Alucard where he's talking to himself and he's making the drawings in the sand of his parents. It's really nice to see that he's not like taking revenge against his father. He still loves his father.
He loved what he was.
Yeah, he understands that in order to save the world, to save humanity, he needs to kill his father.
Yeah, and the way he said it too, he needs to honor his mother by killing his father. That was like a really empathic way of getting into his character. Something that I really want to shout out that you are insinuating here is character motivations. I'm going to say this right now without any details yet because we're going to watch this with you guys and I'm not going to spoil the new other episodes. But character motivations, more than ever before, are done so deftly in this series. Every character, no matter who they are, if they're protagonist, antagonist, maybe a little neutral, you get where they're coming from, why they're there, what they're doing, and you understand it. And that makes the battles and have so much more weight to them. And I can't say how incredible that's done every episode so well. And they only have 20 to 25 minutes on these episodes.
Yeah, and there's only 8 of them.
It's crazy to think how much detail is just put out there. So that's something that will definitely carry for other characters for you as you watch this.
Yeah, and I appreciate that you get to enjoy each side. There's not one side that you necessarily is like, yeah, they're right, the other one's wrong.
Well, there's a good and a bad, but you understand.
You understand each one's motives and their reasoning behind it, especially with Dracula.
They set that up right from the beginning.
Yeah. It's not that he necessarily hates humanity.
Oh no, he hates.
But he more of sees them as they can't handle this world, so that means that they have to die.
Well, and the really great thing, and touching back to something that he said in this episode, which really resonates, and it'll have a lot of impact later on, is that Gottfried and like the other vampires, they're thinking of human beings as cattle, because obviously they feed off of humans, right? They like that. That's the way they like to eat. That's their steak. Let's put it there, right? This becomes a very recurring analogy. Kind of tossing it back on us a little bit in the real world. And he's just like, no, they're living, breathing people. He wants to see it this way so that he can make it a little more convenient for himself. I know what they are. And the fact is, they're scum. That's where he's at with humanity.
Yeah.
He doesn't believe that they have a right to exist anymore or can handle, any depth of responsibility.
Yeah.
He understands that they have thoughts and that they are reactive. They're emotive people. They have lives, but it doesn't matter because they ruin everything.
Yeah. Though it does
They ruin everything.
Though with Hector and Isaac, it does show that he is able to see sort of good parts
In the individual.
Yeah.
Yes.
So.
Yes. Well, and that's what makes Dracula truly unique. It's irony rather than paradox. And that's like a clever line to toe. So they toe it, again, deftly. I'm going to use that word a lot in these reviews. So far, it's looking really good. Any other little things that you want to draw on real quick before we start up the next episode?
Nah, I just want to get into the next episode.
Alright, cool. Alright, well thank you guys for watching this episodic review in progress. Kind of think of it like a book club, but for TV shows that we're watching with you. So tune back in for episode 2 and let us know what you thought of episode 1 in the comments below. We'll see you on the next video.
See you soon.